And happening right now in Ottawa, International Development Minister Karina Gould is providing an update on how Canada plans to help Lebanon after the explosion. Let's listen in.
Those who can be saved and provide immediate assistance from search and rescue to emergency medical services to helping meet the acute needs of those affected. Their work is critical. But in the wake of this disaster, we need to act quickly to save as many lives as possible and reduce suffering. That is why I announced Wednesday that Canada will provide up to $5 million in humanitarian assistance in response to this crisis. Of this, $1.5 million is going immediately through the Canadian Red Cross to the Lebanese Red Cross. Today, as part of this commitment, I am announcing that Canada is launching the Lebanon Matching Fund for donations collected directly from Canadians. The fund will be implemented through the Humanitarian Coalition, a group of 12 experienced Canadian organizations present in Lebanon and delivering critical assistance. The Lebanon Matching Fund will work like this. Every dollar donated by individual Canadians between August 4th and 24th will be matched by the Government of Canada, doubling the impact of each donation up to a maximum of $2 million. The Humanitarian Coalition will then allocate resources to member organizations that are well placed to get timely, life-saving assistance to the people affected. Concerted humanitarian action is required to meet the immediate needs of people impacted by the blast, including healthcare, food, shelter, and water. I encourage Canadians to donate to the Lebanon Matching Fund to help save lives and meet the urgent needs of the affected population. My message to Canadians is this: the best way that you can help is to donate money. And for your contribution to be matched by the Government of Canada, donations must be made to the Humanitarian Coalition or one of its partners. You can go to humanitariancoalition.ca to find out more. Canada will continue to monitor the situation to determine the best way to further respond to this crisis in a coordinated and effective manner. Thank you. Et maintenant en français. Je voudrais d'abord présenter nos
offer our sincere condolences to all those who have lost dear ones in this tragic event. I know that many Canadians, Lebanese Canadians, are affected and are turning to their families and loved ones who are affected by this tragedy. But following this catastrophe, we need to act quickly in order to save as much lives as possible and reduce sufferings. That's why I announced on Wednesday that Canada will offer up to $5 million in humanitarian help in response to this event. Of this amount, $1.5 million will be immediately given by the Canadian Red Cross to the Lebanese Red Cross today. In this commitment, Canada will send the Canada-Lebanon Safety Fund in order to collect funds with Canadians, and this will be given through the Humanitarian Coalition, a group of 12 Canadian organizations that are experienced that are currently in Lebanon by giving essential help. This counterpart fund will work like this. Every dollar given by Canadians between August 4th and 24th will be matched by the Government of Canada, doubling the impact of every gift up to a maximum of $2 million. The Humanitarian Coalition will then send resources to member organizations in order to give the immediate help. I encourage Canadians to give to that fund to help Lebanon, to save lives, and to help and meet the immediate needs of the affected communities. My message to Canadians is the best way to help is to give money, and for your contribution to be matched by the Government of Canada, gifts must be made to the Humanitarian Coalition or to one of its partners. Go to humanitariancoalition.ca. Thank you.
Merci, Minister. Now, Bill Chambers has the floor.
Merci, Madame la Ministre. Thank you, everyone, for participating in this news conference. I'm delighted to participate on behalf of the Humanitarian Coalition member agencies, Action Against Hunger, Canadian Food Grains Bank, Canadian Lutheran World Relief, Care Canada, Humanity and Inclusion, Islamic Relief Canada, Doctors of the World, Oxfam Canada, Oxfam Quebec, Plan International, Save the Children, and World Vision. The Humanitarian Coalition has been working together since 2005 because we've seen how working together saves more lives. Our 12 agencies are all present on the ground in Lebanon, where we have a long pre-existing experience. In the case of Oxfam, for instance, more than 30 years. In the case of World Vision, 45 years, I think. In the case of Save the Children, almost 70 years. We coordinate our work in the field to maximize our impact, and we strive equally to work together in Canada during major emergencies to mobilize more Canadians. We want to thank the Government of Canada for this invaluable support, which will enable us to reach and encourage more Canadians to seize the opportunity to make their donations count twice as much by giving through the Humanitarian Coalition and its members. This horrific incident could not have occurred at a worse time and has hit communities who are already suffering from the impact of COVID-19 and the economic deterioration in Lebanon. Over 100,000 children are now homeless and in need of immediate care. Save the Children welcomes the government match fund and thanks the Canadian public for their kindness and their generosity to help children in crisis. So what is the situation on the ground? Imagine Noor Wahid, who is a staff member of Save the Children in Beirut, who lives 10 minutes away from the port, whose 5 nieces and nephews were on the balcony when the blast went off. There's screams everywhere. The windows collapse around them. They're all wounded. 48 hours later, hospitals are still not able to treat them because of more serious injuries. The impact on children of this kind of incident can be very severe. It's a kind of traumatic event that can have long-term effects on children. Even before the explosion, thousands of people were struggling to feed themselves and their families. Inflation in Lebanon over the last year has been at 169%. Save the Children published an analysis just last week, finding that 500,000 children in Beirut are in a struggle for survival and experiencing hunger. Their families cannot afford the basic food, electricity, cooking fuel, hygiene, and water needed to survive. And that was before the explosion. This explosion has only made matters worse. We now have 100,000 homeless children, some of whom have been separated from their families. So our response, the Humanitarian Coalition members are already carrying out a whole series of activities from food distribution to provision of household supplies, healthcare, emergency housing, water sanitation, family reunification and psychosocial support for children, distributing emergency mobility devices and injury kits, post-surgery support. We will also be responding in the coming weeks and months to the secondary impacts of the blast, which will affect food insecurity, livelihoods, health, both within and beyond Beirut. And make no mistake, what is needed in the immediate emergency is to keep these people alive is funds. It's dollars that can be first of all matched by the Canadian government and can be put to the most urgent needs in the moment on the ground. There may come a time when other gifts in kind, clothing, durable goods may be of benefit. But right now, your financial donation will save the most Lebanese children. Thank you, Minister, both for your support to the Humanitarian Coalition and for yours and the Government of Canada stepping up their response to this growing crisis. We believe Canadians will hear the message, understand the need, and be generous. We invite Canadians to donate to Lebanon Relief at www.together.ca before August 24th in order to double the impact of their donations. Together, we can save more lives. Thank you.
La parole est désormais à Denise Burns et la ministre ensuite pourra répéter son allocution en français.